One of the things I really love about Wednesdays is bringing women who are doing great things to the show to celebrate them. And we have one today. We have with us somebody who I think is doing one of the animation, which I think is really, really big, especially in schools. She's been helping so many young people in getting some kind of animation. I think we have Bisola. Oseni, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much
for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
So tell us about yourself, how you started, and why do you think it was needed at the time you started?
Okay, so basically, my name is Bisola Oseni. I'm a happily married mom of two. I'm Nigerian. I'm proudly Nigerian. So I did my secondary school all the way, so I finished my secondary school in Nigeria, and then I went to London for everything else. So A-levels, and then university. I went to Imperial, studied maths and computing, and then economics at LSE, and I've got an INSEAD MBA as well. And I'm a chartered accountant, ICAS, and
wow,
ICAS and SCCA. So like Nigerians, you know, like Yoruba parents, you keep working. In fact, my dad wanted me to do a PhD, but I thought, wait down. Should I calm down? We need it there, you know. And for business, I do. So work in terms of work experience, I worked at EY London, Shell as well, and then I came back home because I felt I needed to make an impact. I've always, I mean, the day I left, I always said I would be back to give back to the community. And I've always been one that likes to get very, very involved in things as well. And I saw the direction Nigeria was going. It wasn't the same Nigeria I left behind. So there was a need. I mean, Nigeria then was happy. People were happy. It was a community raising kids. Now it's just us and everybody's angry and hungry. So I felt something needed to be done. And then the way you get treated, I mean, I rose to a particular level abroad, but the way you get treated over there, you are not the same. You're still a second-rate citizen. You may have the British passport, the American passport. You are still a second-rate citizen. So to be a Nigerian, so I felt I had to come back home to make an impact. So for me, that was the main thing, coming back home to make an impact. And then in terms of the work I do normally, I'm a lifestyle and business consultant. But I got into animation and content production, and that was because of my first son, actually. So we had a school trip. So I was in one of my school runs. This was about 6 years ago. And we had a school excursion. And then I had to give him 1,850 naira for the excursion. And I wanted to give him the exact amount so that he didn't need to worry about change. So I opened my purse, brought out the notes, but I realized as I was bringing out the notes, he actually could not tell the denomination of the currency from the color.
Are you serious?
So I thought, what's going on here? So I noticed, I saw he was looking at numbers. I thought, this is strange. Because I remember when I was young, once your mom is bringing out the money, you're already calculating how many king biscuits and VIP you can, VIP, you know, the orange one with the green top. You're already calculating how many can I get for this amount this woman is giving me today, kind of thing. So I said, not a problem. So I was a bit perturbed. So I said, where is Ikeja? And he goes to me, what is Ikeja? No joke. And he eats me like a thunderbolt. I was indeed bringing up a Nigerian child in Nigeria who knew nothing or little about the country was residing in. So that for me was a problem. So I said, is it because we're going to because we go to a British curriculum-based school? I said, is that the problem? But I went to an international school in secondary school. So I didn't think that was a problem initially. So I said, could that be the problem? So I went to school. I spoke to the teachers who were very, very welcoming, and they showed me the curriculum. We did not have a Nigerian studies, but we had something called African studies. So when I looked at the curriculum, I realized Nigeria had become a dot on that curriculum. So they touched on Ghana, all the other countries, and Nigeria too was one of the dots. And we're here. So I'm thinking, there's something about this. So I asked all the mothers. So this took a week. I did some research. So I asked all the mothers, like, do your kids know this? They said, we have the same problem. Then I thought, okay, maybe, like I said, British curriculum school, American curriculum. I said, to the Nigerian ones, Corona, Green Springs, Alpha, do you guys know this? I said, 2 months ago, the principal was in the playground interacting with the kids and asked one of the kids, what state are you from? And this kid literally said, Lekki State. So I said, okay, so surely it's not just the curriculum thing. It's in Nigeria. So I asked around. So I realized the problem was prevalent everywhere. So I said, something needed to be done. So I spoke to the school. I said, okay, how about I start an after-school club? So I called it Proudly Nigerian After School Club. Because what I found was kids were not proud to be Nigerian. When I enter a room, it's like, I'm Nigerian, respect, drop, I'm here. You know, the presence is there. There's that feeling that I'm here, I'm ready to go. Let's go. Is this what needs to be done? Let's do it. there is that passion, there is that feeling, there's that pride.
We can feel
you
it
know what
here.
I mean? It's the energy, and that was how we were. At least most of us were brought up.
Raised, yes.
We were raised that
how
way.
we were raised.
Exactly. But so I found that was lacking. So hence the name Proudly Nigerian After School Club.
All right.
So that was born.
Let's get a
really
few
this
questions
stuff.
in.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So what does?
Okay, go ahead.
So what happens?
Oh, so after school club. So I told my friends about it, like, oh yeah, Bisola will come. They now personally on the same day they had dance classes and football. Obviously, you can guess what happened. Nobody came. But I told my nephews, I said, people are going to support family. So I dragged them. There were only like
Your
3 of
class.
us in the class. I learned how to make, like, we would watch a video by a friend about Nigeria, make kites from newspaper, you know, things like that.
Oh,
Just getting back to old school. So I did that for first time. Second time, attendance was not very encouraging. So I said, okay, no, I obviously need to shout louder. And that's why I came up with this animation, 13 episodes, teaching kids what they should know about Nigeria. And hoping that will be the
Nice.
catalyst, a call to action to make Nigerian great. Because we would always say, oh, Nigeria would always be better during our children's time. But do we realize these kids don't even know about Nigeria? And then the question is, how can you love something?
You don't
how
know.
Can you exactly that you don't know about? I can't say I love you if I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Same way I cannot say I love my country if I don't know about my country or even know what is lacking or what it needs to do. So that's it.
I love
Thank
this.
you.
I'm
Thank
super
you.
proud of you because I'm
Thank you very
there.
much. Okay.
I'm constantly wired that way, thinking if my kids don't love this country the way I do, then I failed as a parent. But I focus so much on the language. Recently, I've started focusing on, you know, my culture. I'm an Edo girl, and we're loud. We're proud. We're like that.
Loud and proud.
Loud and proud. So I thought, I've always been a Muslim girl. I fought to own the identity of Islam, but I want to balance it for my child. So when she turned 10, I put together a photo shoot for her where she'll be an Edo girl from stage 1 to last. All cultures, all dressing of the Edo, but we didn't do it because of something, so we've postponed it. I also took them out recently. My kids, fortunately, know everywhere they go. They know Nigeria, they know Lagos at least. It's a good thing. But you see people, we need to do more in terms of what you said. We want to go to Canada, we want to jackpot.
Yes.
And we forget that when they go, they sort of come back and they're lost. How do we merge this? In your club, for instance, some people will say, Nigerians are loud.
Yes.
If you enter a place, a Nigerian enters a place, you see us. If you are blind, you will see us. If you are deaf, you hear.
Yes.
How do you balance it? How do you balance it by silencing them, or are they still loud as children? Are they proud and, you know?
So the club, in terms of the after-school club, since I saw that was not working, I stopped doing that.
Okay.
So I brought the after-school club in animation.
So
Exactly, in terms of the content, so basic things like national anthem,
Okay.
they don't know it. We knew that. We sang that every day.
Every day.
But assembly night is probably once a week. So they don't have, the opportunity to learn that. So things like the pledge, past heroes, resources, languages, like you said. Some people think it's uncool to speak your mother tongue.
We're meant to
But I tell my son, if you go to the market, like if I go to the market or anyone goes to the market, the minute you speak English to them like the proper way, your price has doubled. So who is kidding who? If you cannot connect to your kids. So in terms of that loudness, it's not just a language, it's not just learning about your country, it's skills as well. So for me, exposure, because I love my science, so robotics.
Yes.
I love my science, so building things. I love my science, so vocational centers are hopefully coming this year. So, and when I say vocational centers, so that I don't digress too much, my pounded machine is like mortar and pestle. Otis, I'm going to charge him later on for this. Mr. Otis pounding machine is literally the way you would have it, like you pound.
On the machine.
Pounding, and yes, like the way you have your pounded yam, the same elasticity, everything is perfect. So I use his machine for that. But when it comes to my smoothie or my juice, I can't use the normal blender because I'm worried that the materials that have been used in that can leach into my food. I'm worried I can buy the blender and then it blows up the next day or whatever it is. So we've then come up with this vocational center where you can bring local manufacturers and then the alumni group of Imperial too, like a few of them have said they are ready to transfer the theory into practical, bring that together. And with kids that are interested in engineering, start building little prototypes. So products made for the Nigerian market by Nigeria that can be consumed. So giving employment to people as well, and something we can be proud of.
Yes, so I really love what you're doing, and I just want to ask if you think the parents are leaving all the responsibility to maybe the teachers and people like you who will come up with this innovation. Because the child, the first point of learning a child has is the mother.
It's the mother. Yes, I agree.
And if in your house you cannot take your children to the village,
Yes.
you cannot teach your children about your culture, even if you don't know so much about it, a few things about your culture, they cannot ask your children where they are from, and they will mention it. Don't you think we're not doing enough as parents? We just want to pay fees and allow other people just teach our children all the foreign things and forget about where we are. Don't you think we are slacking as parents? And how do you think we can help and even support this thing you're doing? Because no matter what you do on the outside, if they come home and it's not reinforced by the parents, it will not stick.
Okay, so basically, I fully agree. Parents are very culpable in this. We are not doing enough, if I'm being, and that was what I found as well. And that's why I started this, because I realized, oh my God, I feel I'm Nigerian and my own child cannot do this. So that for me, parents. So parents have to start changing their thinking and understanding that what you sow is what you reap. So if you do not put that Nigerian culture in them, so to say, like make that effort to say, at home, we only speak Yoruba. So which is what I do in my house now. You only speak Yoruba to me. If you want something in English, I'm like, Miogo. You know? So that is forcing that. But then it would be nice if that is reinforced as well in school. Okay. Because like I said, my school does not offer that. And so does some of the other international curriculum-based school. And that's because it's not legally required of them. So some do a few things, maybe after school club and everything. Now, when I traveled, like when I went for my A-levels, it was compulsory. 2 hours every Friday. I remember the first time I pushed back, like, oh, I only came for A-levels. Why should I learn God Save the Queen, learn about this? But I realized, I saw the positive side of it because I could understand the people better. So how about the government making it legal, legislating it, saying, as long as you're in our country, be it 1 hour a week, teach our kids and foreigners that are in our country about Nigeria. That is showing that you are proud of what you have. That is showing that you want them to
Ministry of Information is protecting the president's interests. They are just replying newspapers. They don't have this information.
But thank God.
They are watching the show.
History is back in our curriculum.
Yes, it is back
my son
now.
is taking on his
Yes,
his
history
class.
back. So it was taken out.
So yeah.
So you wonder why that was done in the first place. Well, I really don't know.
Thanks for staying with us. So I wanted to ask you, what's your long-term dream? What's that objective you hope to achieve, and what kind of collaboration are you looking to have to achieve these dreams?
So long-term will be to reach Nigerians, just not in Nigeria, but in diaspora as well. So I'm talking Amazon, Netflix, in-flight entertainment. So making that in terms of getting the material, meaning
The animation.
The animation. So states and capital, national anthem, our history, past presidents, resources found in Nigeria. So things that were taught in social studies and a bit more general studies as well.
How many episodes do you have?
13 episodes. 13 episodes.
Okay, let's talk
Could you
about
give us, let's talk about the animations. Could you just give us an idea of what this animation is like? Are there the characters?
Okay.
Are there people that we know in a form, you know?
Yeah.
In a
things
way.
like that, yeah.
So it's based on 3 main characters. So you have Ayo, who is a Yoruba boy. You have Alima, who is Hausa, who is a Hausa girl. And then you have Antiego, who is the Igbo lady taking the class. So obviously the 3 main tribes.
Okay.
So obviously for next seasons, we'll introduce more tribes. So Fulani, South, obviously trying to grow that. But the long term is to have characters our kids can relate with. But those characters will teach them the culture, our heritage, in a fun way, and our morals in a fun way, and make them fall in love with our country. So, oh my God, Nigeria has these resources. We are so talented. We have all these resources.
Right.
We can do this and skills.
So let's talk landmarks in your cartoons. For instance, Nigerians don't eat at restaurants that sound African.
Yes.
They like to eat at restaurants that sound... So
Who tell you that one?
Where did you get that?
I went to Jevnik
Trust me, I don't
yesterday.
take it.
Oh, please.
No, even Jevnik.
Very traditional.
No, the meals are traditional. I'm saying
we
the
watch
Just
branding.
mentioning brands on
So
this.
when we go out,
Yes.
we sort of put one area as the AJCT area and the VGC area because they sound foreign. That's the truth. Take it from me.
The data experts.
I'm telling you.
How
Statistician.
when you break the table, they will tell you, you do it. I'm from this area where they have the names. Where you go to a street, one street sounds very Nigerian. It has the bag bam. If you hear Oganego, for instance, you say, I know that area is one area. You know?
Yes.
We do that.
Yes.
Are you doing something about that in this content to change mindset for the kids that we are growing, to normalize having African names, African streets, and pronouncing them without flinching?
So that's in season 2. So, and I see what you're saying. It even comes even with our names. So my best friend in secondary school came back about 6 years ago, and she named our first daughter, well, we have the same name, Bisola. And then she said she doesn't bear Bisola abroad, that she prefers to be called Lizzie or Elizabeth. And I'm like,
Interesting.
I'm like, Bisola, do you know the meaning of Bisola? It means born into wealth, you know? So you have to, yes,
because he has to have one foreign appeal.
yes. And then you have a child called Yewande to be being called Wendy. So that's one of the, yes. No, but it's
So
also,
Bisola means the same thing as Olabisi, because born into wealth is also my name.
yes, so there you go, we can share today.
No.
I would like to share with you.
I know. So it's a swap for the name, and it means the same thing.
Yes, Olabisi. Yeah, so Bisola. So, but then she was not proud of that. So that comes into with the street names as well. You are not proud to pronounce it. So if you look at it, it's rich. The way the pronunciation, you know,
Because
the
we want the
tonation,
expatriates
the
to appeal,
rhythm.
for you to appeal to them.
It doesn't appeal to them. Oh.
No, they appeal to them.
So I have
When you go to
so
China,
I
you
wrote
take
I wrote a children's book,
Okay.
and I deliberately made sure that there were middle Belton names.
Okay.
Names that are not so common. So it's not the Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo names. And some of the names are a bit of a mouthful. And I remember in the beginning when I was writing it, I got advice. I was like, could you find shorter names? Or which is good because you want to be able to make sure everybody is able to read and understand it. But I'm happy I didn't change the names. And it's because I would see video feedback of people struggling to pronounce it. And for me, that is a win already.
Yes,
That you're
exactly.
struggling to pronounce it, and then you're asking questions.
Sure.
So, like you, I'm seeing the importance of telling our stories in our language, and sort of like music, one day we're able to export it on a global scale. So I want to know that if I am a 10-year-old and I come to your school, what I would be learning and what I will be able to teach someone who is not in your school.
Okay.
What will be, do you understand?
Or the animation?
It's animation. So it's not my
So
club.
that's the club.
So I am moved from the club. It's not animation.
Okay.
So everyone, because I realized with the club, people were not attending. So it's the content.
Oh,
So it's I guess
Now,
global content.
that's the clarity I was looking for.
Okay.
So you're trying to export this 13 episodes you have right now
Exactly.
to schools, or to do it on YouTube, or is it what exactly?
So it's on TV stations.
It's on TV stations.
It's on
So
TV
a
stations right
program.
now.
Yeah,
Yes.
brilliant. So
But then I'm open because I've realized that not everybody watches DSTV as much. So that ends the need for Netflix, Amazon Prime, and especially to reach Nigerians in diaspora as well. So eventually it will end up obviously on YouTube as well. But that's what.
on our phones.
Yes, exactly.
well
But then
done.
you have so you have content, and apart from the content, you have nursery rhymes. Because it was while I was doing this research, I found out that for a long time we were taught Sandalili is actually standard living.
So do we have,
Yes,
so you have Nigerian
Yeah,
rhymes?
nursery rhymes. Yeah, so for every episode, there's a nursery rhyme afterwards.
A Nigerian nursery rhyme.
Nigerian nursery
what about
rhyme.
histories? History
You have,
incorporated
yes,
in there?
everything. So in every show, there's history, there's culture, there's everything. And then at the end, there's question and answer time. And then at the end, we have the nursery rhyme. So standard living is number one.
I think it's a-
Debola Williams wrote a book, about African women heroes I used for my daughter. I was wondering, do you have such African women, Nigerian heroes, women, in our past, from our history, that you have made their personalities part of your...
Oh, yes. So Queen Amina is one of them. I remember going about that. And then in terms of, and then obviously it was getting a bit long, so I just touched on a few other women as well. But I remember Queen Amina standing out on that. Yeah.
Okay, one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you here was just to congratulate you for
Thank you, Mariah.
the work you're doing, the innovation, the fact that you thought of the need, you saw a need.
Yes.
I'm hoping that now that history is in our schools, more people will come up with the idea, the realization that we need to find our identity and continue to celebrate what is ours. So hopefully we'll have more of you, because it's not good just one person to do something like this. But it's a good thing. And I'm happy that you started with just 13 episodes. You hope to produce more. And then hopefully we can also get it not just in TV stations, but in schools.
Yes.
They can actually watch this, because I know that schools actually do watch videos during school hours. So some of this can be used during history lessons.
And it's my book.
So,
yes. So, well, we can talk about that.
Thank you very much. Let's take a few comments on social media to wrap up.
Blessing says, I'm definitely watching this news live. Great program. Kudos to you, firstly. I'd really like to thank the Proudly Nigerian After Club, but definitely don't want anyone on my neck. Okay. Andrew says, I love this woman, Proudly Nigerian. She knows who she is. I am not an Omwali. God bless her. Noluwatoyin says, thank you, Proudly Nigerian After School Club, for what you've done.
So maybe you shouldn't totally give up on the after-school club. Maybe some people might be interested. You can still do a bit more work on that. That would be really nice, especially now that history is back.
Exactly.
People might need an after-school club to reinforce the lessons they've learned in history. So you might want to reconsider. But thank you very much.